Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. It is 7:06, March 21st, 33 degrees, heading up to 50 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. Yes, got it all in. It's a good morning. Must be the 7 o'clock hour because I can't do that at 5:30 in the morning. We are joined now by Angela Lynch and Lisa Mulhern from Ocean Mental Health. Angela is the Director of Program Development. Lisa is in the development, handles development and marketing. I can't completely speak at 7 this morning. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. This has been really one of the best mornings of the week so far for me. So why don't you start by telling us a little about yourselves, how you got involved with Ocean Mental Health? Angela, why don't you get us started first?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I started with Ocean Mental Health about 10 years ago. I was looking to get into the field of crisis work, which I was always drawn to, and that's where I started. And for the first 9 years, I worked in 2 of our crisis programs as a clinician, and most recently took over the position of the Director of Development, which I do a lot of program add-ons, seek out funding, and try and work with our existing programs, and then also develop more programs in the grant writing. So it's been a great career at Ocean Mental Health so far. So I hope to continue working there for many years to come.
Okay. That was for her boss, Jim Cooney, by the way. Jim, Angela said that she really wants to continue working there as long as she can. So just in case you weren't aware. Lisa, how about you?
I have not been at Ocean Mental Health as long as Angela. I've only been there since August of last year.
But you really like your job also, right?
Yes, I really enjoy my job as well. And I basically came to the nonprofit world through route of retail and finding out that I wanted more than just a job and wanted to be able to make a difference. And I like the idea of being able to have my career, especially for my children, not just instill a great work ethic, but to have it mean something.
Great. So that's cool because, this show is all about getting up, getting out, and doing something. So you ladies are both doing that on a daily basis. But I don't think folks have a full understanding of what Ocean Mental Health is all about. So, Angela, why don't you talk to us, give us kind of the 30,000-foot overview of Ocean Mental Health.
Well, Ocean Mental Health was started in 1959, and since that time, we have grown to have 33 different programs, 13 locations, and approximately 365 employees. We are a nonprofit mental health organization serving all of Ocean County. That includes adults, family, and children with mental health. So that is the brief 30-second overview.
So 300, how many programs? You see 33 different programs?
33 different programs.
Wow. So why don't you give us an example of a couple of the programs that folks may or may not be familiar with?
Sure. I'll talk about probably the one that's going to be most beneficial to the public is the CRESS program. That's Community Resources for Emergency Support and Treatment. It was a pilot program that started about 6 years ago, and now we've been in operation. It started 6 years ago in New Jersey, and Ocean County was awarded it approximately 5 years ago. And it provides immediate access for individuals who are in a mental health crisis, and they, instead of having to go and block up the emergency rooms with mental health issues, they can walk in, call, go to the site, and they can immediately see a clinician. And then within 48 to 72 hours, they can see a prescriber for medication, which is huge. There is a great need for more prescribers in Ocean County. So they're really servicing a wide array of people. In fact, when the program started, PES saw a decrease in emergency room visits by almost 30%. and that's the psychiatric emergency screening services found in ERs across Ocean County.
Wow. That's like we've learned like 4 acronyms in the last 30 seconds. That's fantastic.
This field is full of acronyms. So.
Is there maybe a key we could put up on the website along with the YouTube video that we could kind of like, have people play along? Maybe a little match game. That would be fun. So, I think that I don't think folks necessarily understand that as we head towards the new normal of healthcare, which is not about treating sickness per se, but more about maintaining a healthy society. Ocean Mental Health and organizations like Ocean Mental Health play a huge part of that. We've heard a lot in the last 3 months on this show, certainly, about where kind of so much physical health starts with mental health, right? So that's kind of what you guys are working on. I think that you're kind of really focused also on the community outreach piece. So, Lisa, why don't you talk to us a little bit about community outreach? What kind of things do you guys do out and about to get Ocean Mental Health out there and to help out in Ocean County?
Sure. We have 2 different types of outreach. We do things within the community to help for mental health awareness issues. Just recently, we were at Central Regional High School for the 11th Annual Transition Day. We did something in the community with a video and at the library and things like that. And then we have fundraising events as well to help raise the awareness as well as funds for the Ocean Cares Foundation, which is the fundraising and special events arm of Ocean Mental Health Services.
Okay. What is Transition Day, by the way?
Transition Day was for students with mental health issues that were leaving high school and going on to need services outside of the school environment.
Okay. Yeah, we've also had on this show, we had Scott Corbett on from Ocean Academy, who does a great job with a school in Ocean County that helps with kids that need a little additional support, may not be able to be appropriately serviced by their home schools, and instead are heading to Ocean Academy for that additional support. So, Angela, so you said that you were drawn to crisis work.
I know.
That's so I'm scared to ask.
You should be.
Because the logical question is what like when somebody says like they're drawn to pizza.
Right.
I understand that. I understand that because pizza tastes good. It's yummy. Mm-hmm. Right? When somebody says they're drawn to crisis work, so why don't you talk about that? Yes.
Well, I grew up, my father's a pastor, and he did a lot of mission work. So we were constantly going around different areas of the U.S. We spent a lot of time in Detroit when I was a child doing mission work on the streets, things like that. And then my mother was a psychiatric nurse. So when she would come home and tell stories, I would just sit and listen, couldn't wait to hear what happened at work today. So when I started my career, I kind of wanted to merge the two. I wanted to help people, but I didn't want to touch them through nursing, if that makes any sense. So I went the psychology route.
Right. Wow.
And decided that I really wanted to put myself out there to help those in need. And the best way that I found was through counseling. So I'm actually a licensed counselor as well. And I love what I do. I love helping people. I love getting right into the middle of a crisis and just kind of, most people say I have a calm demeanor a majority of the time. And I've just found that I'm able to really be the relaxing sounding board for a lot of those in crisis.
Well, I guess growing up with a psychiatric nurse and a pastor, I think that kind of helps, right?
Yes.
I mean, you're used to that.
Yes.
So this is where my warped mind goes, because when you say that you want to help people, you just don't want to touch them. So then I start thinking of Indiana Jones. And you're saying, why does Jeremy think of Indiana Jones? And here's why. Because I'm thinking of the original Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I think there's Harrison Ford, and he's like this, adventurer, explorer. And they throw him, in the snake pit, right? Because the one thing he really fears is snakes, right? And so he screams like a little girl. not to offend little girls in any way, but he screams like a little girl when he's in the snake pit. And now I'm thinking of you, Angela, and I'm thinking of you, and I'm thinking that you're like in your, horrific nightmare, you have to touch people. And that's where my warped mind goes. So moving right along, Lisa, we only have a minute to go. So I'm going to ask you, when we get back, I know you said that you took a very interesting turn from retail, and I know that also that we went retail, but I think animals were also involved. And here on Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, we are big fans of animals. So we want to talk about that. We want to talk about what your path looked like to get involved with Ocean Mental Health. Angela Lynch and Lisa Mulhern, Ocean Mental Health. Be right back after this.
Now, back to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 and WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We're here with Angela Lynch and Lisa Mulhern, Ocean Mental Health. So, Lisa, your path to Ocean Mental Health started in retail, and how did it where did it go from there?
Well, I had spent a lot of years in retail, and I knew I didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
And I had a friend who had a connection to the Monmouth County SPCA, actually, and they were going through a transition and a rebuilding phase, and she was like, I already sent your resume, so I already told her you're coming, so get everything together, you're going. And I was able to go on board with the Monmouth County SPCA in 2008 when they were going through all of that, and I found out that they weren't really doing anything to market themselves. They had been there for years and years, and everybody just kind of knew they were there, but didn't really know who they were. I would hear people say, "Oh, I'm at the ASPCA," and I'd be like, "No, you're not in New York. You need an identity. Doesn't matter how long you've been there. People still need to know who you are and what you do, and keep it fresh in people's minds." So I started just doing some public relations and marketing, and I was there for quite a few years, and then they had another transition and some financial reduction, and found myself out of work and looking for a new job. And I knew I wanted to stay in the nonprofit sector.
Right.
I just knew I wanted to be able to still help. And even though it's not animal welfare, I find myself, we're still advocating on behalf of people that really can't advocate on their own behalf at times. And that's what I find pretty rewarding, being able to make a connection or, raise the awareness, educate somebody that just didn't really understand what the organization was or what our cause or mission was.
Well, that's great. So, and that's a pretty cool progression and a kind of a cool way you tied that together there. So while we're kind of talking about, programming, and while we're kind of talking about how you can, advocate for those that can't necessarily advocate for themselves, the Ocean Cares Foundation, which is the foundation that kind of helps fund a lot of what Ocean Mental Health does, you mentioned that there are some programs that they've been able to fund that have been really kind of changed the game from a mental health perspective. So why don't you give us an example or two of those?
Sure. So they've been able to fund things like the Crest Closet for people that come in that are in that crisis need, who maybe have just the clothes on their back. So they're able to provide them with maybe a change of clothes, some health and beauty, items, personal hygiene items, things like that. One of the newer programs that we're funding right now is an equine therapy program for some of our consumers, so that they can, they'll probably never ride the horse. It's just being to touch and groom and be around the horse that will be able to have that effect, that calming effect.
And who are you doing that with? I mean, are you doing that with chariot ride? Is that chariot riders? Is that what it's called?
No, actually, one of our employees has a connection to rain dancer stables.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And she's a horse owner, so she's connected it all through there.
Cool. So it's finding alternative methods to help with mental health.
Yes, always thinking outside the box.
That's very cool. So do we have any we only have 1 minute left, so do we have a quick success story of an individual?
Yes. It actually happened last week when we were at the transition fair. A consumer came to our table And I recognized her from about 4 or 5 years ago. She had lost 180 pounds. She was off of all of her medication. She was doing fantastic. She looked amazing. And she thanked us and Ocean Mental Health over and over for helping her get her life back. That meant the world to
That's great. That must
me.
have been a really touching moment.
It was just, 180 pounds.
Angela, did you give her a hug?
No. I should have.
You should have, right?
Hugs are okay.
No, that's all right. We'll talk more about that in the break. Okay, Angela Lynch, Lisa Mulhern, Ocean Mental Health, talking about all the great things that Ocean Mental Health is doing for mental health in Ocean County. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the fun events that are upcoming that Ocean Mental Health is a part of, and also learn what these ladies would do with their magic wand if they could make an impact just by waving it in Ocean County. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, back after this.
The news is next. Live from the WOBM Newsroom, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. March 21st, 7:35 in the morning, 33 degrees, heading up to 50 today in WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. Oh, I actually had a little bit left in me right there. I could have said at least 3 more words. So we are joined by Angela Lynch and Lisa Mulhern from Ocean Mental Health, and we've already learned a lot about both Angela and Lisa as people, but more importantly about what they're doing to help impact mental health and health in general here in Ocean County. So, Lisa, you get to do the fun part. Why don't you talk to us about some of the cool things that are upcoming at Ocean Mental Health?
Okay. Actually, the first event we have coming up this year is on May 5th. It's a Thursday night, and it's our annual gift auction. Tickets are $35 a person. You can register online through our website, which is oceanmhs.org. And this year, we're kind of changing things up a little bit. We're going to have an ambush makeover from Tina's Cuts in Brick. We're going to have on-the-spot massages from Ocean County Massage Institute. So we're making it a little bit more of a fun night out. And we got some really great prizes. We have an overnight stay to Camelback Resort for 6, including water park tickets to Aquatopia. We have a family 4-pack of tickets to the Quick Check Balloon Festival. And we have tickets to Eastern State Penitentiary out in Philadelphia. And in July, we have a new event coming up. Details are still being worked out and to be determined. But we have the Ocean Cares Clam Bake for a Cause. That's going to be happening probably mid-July. And then we have, in September, we have our annual Race for Respect out on the boardwalk in Seaside Park.
You know, those all sound like a lot of fun, but I was stuck on ambush makeover because I couldn't. Zach, are you familiar with the term ambush makeover?
I am not.
Okay. Lisa, can you please, acronyms aside, we want to teach people things. We've already learned, we've learned so much on this show. Ambush makeover seems like a teaching opportunity for our audience.
So an ambush makeover, we are going to have 2 people from Tina's Salon. They're looking for somebody who might be in need of a little bit of a lift, whether it be a new hairstyle, some makeup, and right then and there, they're going to take them into the hospitality suite at the Clarion and give them a new look on life within a matter of a couple hours.
So does that not run the risk of insulting someone? Like if somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, you look like you really need a makeover," I don't know that I'd be so receptive to that.
No, I think it's a fun thing.
Okay.
It's
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm just looking at that. I'm looking at, running a foundation as I do, right? We always look at what our risk factors are in things that we do, right? What is the potential risk here? And the potential risk there, that's frightening. There's no chance I'd go up to a woman and say, hey, you look like you need a makeover. Let me help you out. Anyway, moving right along. We're going to ask you, we're going to go now on to our famous magic wand question, which is, if you had a magic wand, pixie dust, if you could just wiggle your nose and make something happen, what would you do? So who wants to go first?
I can. That's
okay.
Fine. I put some thought into this, and mine is, reducing stigma. Letting the people of Ocean County know that there is no harm in seeking mental health services, and there are plenty of resources out there for you. If you feel you're in need, if you have a loved one or someone close to you that is in need, please reach out to us. There's a variety of programs, as I stated earlier, and we're there for the community of Ocean County and to help all of you who are suffering with mental illness.
Cool. Lisa?
Pretty much the same thing, just being able to have that awareness factor of not being afraid to seek treatment or being afraid to even support an organization that's what they deal with. I do think as far as we've come, there's still a lot of stigma in just wanting to say, I'm supporting a mental health organization.
Great. Okay, so I like to do a little recap of the things we've learned with our guests. So I just want to quickly go through a couple of the bullet points that I took away today. Number one, we learned that both Angela and Lisa really like their jobs. So Jim Cooney, if you are listening, they super enjoy it there, and they would love to continue. Number two, some people get into mental health because they don't want to touch people. Okay. We learned what an ambush makeover is. All right. So those are, to me, that really is worth the price of admission alone. But we also learned all of the great things that Ocean Mental Health is doing for the community in Ocean County to create a healthier living environment, both for those that can't advocate for themselves and for those that just need a little additional support to contribute in a more meaningful way to society as we know it. Lisa, I will leave you with the opportunity to tell people where they can learn more about Ocean Mental Health.
Sure. You can go to our website, which is oceanmhs.org, or you can go to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all our social media channels. And we would love to just be able to keep spreading the word about what we do and how we help.
Great. Good stuff. All kidding aside, great job, Lisa and Angela. Thank you so much for your time this morning, braving the elements,
Yes.
the almost quarter inch of snow that was out there this morning to make it in here. Ocean Mental Health, back with more Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin after this.